Hey y'all, today I am so excited to share with you another one of my sourdough breads. This is my gluten-free sourdough cranberry walnut bread, and y'all, it is probably my favorite bread I've ever made. No lie. It is slightly sweet and tart from those cranberries. The walnuts give it a nice crunch on the inside. And it is just perfect with butter, plain, or as a sandwich even. So let's get into it and I'll show you how to make it. All right, as per usual, y'all, you know that if you make any of my breads, almost all of them, in fact, maybe all of them, is just a matter of putting the ingredients into the bowl and mixing it. It is just really that simple. So I'm starting with the water. This is 390 grams of water. This is straight from the faucet water. No need to heat it up or do anything to it. And I'm adding to that 10 grams of whole psyllium husks. And then this is my active and fed sourdough starter. It's 60 grams of my sourdough starter. And if you want more detail about how to feed a sourdough starter that is already established, check out my video for my gluten-free sourdough sandwich bread. I go into great detail in that video, and it really helps you understand how sourdough works and how to use it. So I'm adding to this 21 grams of honey, just straight from the jar, the squeeze jar, and 26 grams of olive oil. This is basically my standard sourdough bread recipe with some extra things added to it. And now I'm adding in my bread flour blend, which is Kim's gluten-free bread flour blend. This is 390 grams of the bread flour blend. You will find the recipe for this on my website. And then I just added in 12 grams of kosher salt and 8 grams of regular baking powder. And now I'm adding in 100 grams of dried cranberries or craisins and 75 grams of toasted chopped walnuts, just lightly toasted. And I'll get this on the mixer. And you know the routine. It's just starting it out on slow and then increasing the speed to medium high, and letting it go for 5 minutes. I even set a timer and walk away. All right, y'all, my timer just went off, so I'm going to check this out. And it looks just like it should, like pretty much any of my other doughs that I make, except for the cranberries and the walnuts. So I'm going to grab my dough scraper or bowl scraper and just scrape this right into the center of the bowl. Now, if you don't have more than one bowl for your stand mixer, you could definitely scrape this into another bowl and cover it. I have like 3 of these bowls, so I just keep them right in the bowl. And I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and I'm going to set it in a warm place to proof. I don't know if you can tell by the sunlight streaming into my kitchen right now, but it is later in the day, much later. It is like it's been about 6 or 7 hours for this to rise. And it's domed over because there's so much air in it right now, which I absolutely love. It has risen to double the size. That's how you know your sourdough starter is working. And we're going to now put this in the fridge overnight so it's much easier to work with. And I'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Good morning, you guys. It's the next day in the morning, mid-morning, and this dough is nice and chilled, which is going to make it so much easier to knead and shape. So I've got my little bit of bench flour here. I always use whatever flour is in the recipe as my bench flour. And in this case, it's my gluten-free bread flour blend. And I'll just scrape this out right onto the flour. This is a wetter dough, so just take your time with it. make sure you knead it properly, because here's what I've found when it comes to any of my breads, really, not just sourdough. But if you don't knead them properly and like degas them, they are going to end up with a huge hole somewhere inside that bread. And I don't know why that happens, but I don't know if it's a shaping issue or what. But if you just take the time to knead your bread, add flour as you need to so it doesn't stick to the surface. This is a stickier dough. It's just how it is. It's very manageable though. That's my tip for making any of my breads, is to make sure you knead it properly. All right, I'm just going to wash my hands real quick and then dust it all over with extra flour so that I can transfer it into my banneton. If you don't have a banneton, you can definitely use just a regular old bowl. You can line your bowl with either flour, dust it with flour, or line it with like a tea towel and then dust that with flour. You don't have to go out and buy an actual banneton, although they are nice to have, and they're pretty cheap, I have to say. I think this one was under $10. So I'm going to dust my banneton with some brown rice flour or white rice flour. It doesn't matter, either or. The rice flours are nice and fine, so they work a little bit better in this instance. And I'm just going to plop my dough right in there. I'm going to even it out just a little bit on the top. And I'm going to cover it with plastic wrap and put it in a nice warm place to proof. And I really can't tell you how long that's going to take. It all depends on the ambient temperature in your house and the time of year, the time of day. I mean, I could go on and on. It could be 1 hour, it could be 4 hours. Just be patient. You have to be patient when it comes to sourdough, and especially gluten-free sourdough. So this has risen nicely. I'm peeling the plastic off and I'm flipping it over onto a sheet of parchment paper. And I'll carefully get my banneton off. Try to get my banneton off. It might be stuck in a few areas. There we go. Now, about scoring a bread like this that has loads of things inside, the cranberries and the walnuts do make it difficult to score a nice clean line. So just do your best. Inevitably, your lame or your sharp knife is going to get snagged on one of the cranberries, or more likely the walnuts. So it might not look so pretty, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to grab my super hot, a new bread baker that I bought that I absolutely love, y'all. It is a game changer in my kitchen. I'm not even sure why, because I used to use my old Dutch oven and that did work great, but for some reason this really makes a difference in baking better gluten-free bread. I cannot tell you why. Another thing it does is it makes the crust a little lighter. So for those of y'all who don't like a dark crust, I know there are several of you out there, this definitely helps that along. I myself love a dark, really crusty crust on my bread, but that's just me. So I'm going to cover this. I'm going to bake it at 450 for 40 minutes. And then I'm going to remove the lid and continue baking it for another 20 minutes and then check the temperature. If it says 208 or higher, it should be done. If you want to leave the lid on, you will still get a crusty loaf, but it will be a little less crusty and hard, in other words, and maybe a little lighter in color. But this to me looks divine, and it is divine. Believe me, it is definitely my new favorite. I could eat this every day. I have made sandwiches with it, like turkey sandwiches with it. You can make like a, what do they do? Those Thanksgiving sandwiches where they put the cranberry sauce and turkey on there. And with the cranberries already in the bread, it is just incredible, you guys. I cannot talk this up enough. It is so soft on the inside. You can eat it, like I said, plain. It's still fantastic, just plain. It's wonderful toasted with a little bit of butter on it, or untoasted with butter on it. Great as a sandwich bread. It is just an all around wonderful, wonderful bread. And I hope you get a chance to make it. And please let me know what you think. Enjoy.